poppin', everybody? Welcome to our top 5 comics for May 2025. Sorry for being a little late. I apparently had to swim home because we had a monsoon freaking hit us. It wasn't technically a monsoon, but it might as well should have been. So we had some crazy roads. I sent Drewski some. Actually, I sent a couple of things to the group chat throughout the day because of how bad it was. But when your local news station is posting things on social media that says "Don't drown, turn around," maybe
That's first.
maybe that's your sign. Yeah, maybe that's your sign. But Drewski, what's up, brother? How are you?
Hey man, yeah, I'm fantastic. It was a good day, and we were sharing behind the scenes beforehand. Like here in Indiana, it is beautiful, beautiful weather, picture perfect. I just spent an hour just driving around town, all the windows down, listening to some classic tunes, just keeping the good vibes going.
Heck yes. Keeping the good vibes going. Speaking of good vibes, let me see if I can get this pulled up real quick. But I believe you got a little kicky starty going over here for Unholy Nightmare 2, and it is almost at goal.
Yeah, dude, it's just like it's one of those things where it's just like, come on, please. It's like if you guys haven't backed it yet, I would really, really, really love for you guys to back it today. Now, if you can, tell your friends, wives, tell their mistresses, tell your comic book store owners, tell your comic book store owners' wives to get in on this, guys. We feel incredibly proud of this book. There's a lot of special stuff going on here, especially with the Golem to add on to as well. You guys do not want to miss out on this.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely check it out. And if you are backing it, I'm just going to tell you right now, you're stupid if you don't get the Golem backup story.
So I'm able to see how many people have gotten the Golem. You want to know the count? Want to know the count?
What? How many?
About 15 people of 90 some odd backers.
No. Yes. Oh my God.
Okay. Yes.
What?
Only 15.
Listen, folks, if you've backed this and you didn't get the Golem backup, I cannot stress how much you're missing out. It's oh no. Okay, just be better. I'm gonna. This right here. I was looking for it and I can't even focus. This is more deserving than just 15 people backing the backup because it is insane. And honestly, I might have to take that video from Vu when he was doing this cover that he posted on Facebook.
Oh, please.
I might have to get that and pull that in for Thursday, like screen record it so we could have it because.
Oh, please do,
guys. You're just look at this cover, and then I would just say keep in mind it's a 10-page, like backup origin story for the Golem. One, it's great writing from Drew. Like I love the story itself. If you look closely, you can probably tell what time period this is taking place in. But Vu does the interiors as well. It's all black and white. It's kind of based off EC comics, the style of the short story, and it's good. It's so I mean, all of this is good. But what are we doing? There's like hold on, how many backers do we have? Hold please.
92.
92 and only 15 have gotten that.
Yes.
So, I'm showing my bidness. I'm showing what I backed. I didn't realize that was up there. Anyways, you guys saw it, but you can tell clearly I'm a fan because I'm buying this stuff as well. And yes, I did in fact get the backup. But I will say I've read both stories, the main story and the backup. They're both excellent. You get introduced to a lot of new characters in the main issue, so you want to get that before we start going into like batshit crazy shenanigans. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, and then get that backup, guys. That's just get that backup. Add it on. I don't know how that technically works. Do another fulfillment.
And what's gonna be crazy? What's gonna be crazy about this, Josh, is that after Vu blows up on some big covers he's doing for publishers later this year, I can't say who. You've seen one. You've seen one. As soon as he blows up on those, I guarantee guarantee you, people are going to be reaching out to us asking, "Hey, do you still have the Golem? Hey, do you still have that? Do you still have that?
Yeah.
Huh? Where the hell were you 6 months ago? Where were you a year
Yeah.
ago?" It's the same situation that Aaron's going with the Doomface with the
Yep.
Comic Con exclusive. It's like, where were you guys last year?
But yeah,
The backer.
that makes me so sad that there's only 15 backers for that.
We just lost one.
What?
Yeah.
Oh
I
gosh.
guess we shouldn't have told him to be better.
Oh well, whoops. Anyways, if you don't listen, I'm just telling you honestly, if you aren't getting that backup, you are genuinely missing out. It's such good work. And is this technically going to be the first published interior work that Vu's done?
Yes. It's hard to tell because he's been doing some art books for some people.
Okay.
He's posting like he's doing stuff for he's doing the Odyssey adaptations, and I don't know if those have officially been published yet, but I'm hoping we can beat the others to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to put this here. Kaiser put, I might add another copy of Gollum. Listen, I might have to go back and redo the same, just because I know people are going to want them to be like, here.
Yeah,
this is for not listening when I told you to.
Yeah,
So.
tell your comic book shops. If they hear about Vu, and be like, wait a minute. Hey Josh, that Vu guy, didn't he do something with a friend of yours? Do you have any copies of those?
Yeah, I'll see Dave tomorrow, so I'll have to bring it up to him then. So, but yeah, no, as you said, we're super close. You're super close to fulfilling. So kudos there. I know you're going to do it. We're way ahead of where you were this time last year. So that's a plus, or for the issue 1, I should say.
Yeah.
So kudos, and I think that's just a testament to the work you're doing and the fact that people are finding it and liking it. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we end.
I think we jumped back up. Okay.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yes, it's a win.
Hell yeah, it's a win. Listen, I'm just gonna say, when these pages come out and this issue comes out, and you're like, "Oh shit, why didn't I get that?" That's on you, bro. That's on you.
Oh, Cajun. It was Cajun Corey. Go figure.
Oh, Cajun Corey coming in with a win. Oh, heck yeah. Nice. So he said, I just canceled my OG pledge and made a new one with a cover G and with Gollum. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Corey, trust me, you're gonna be happy you got the Gollum book. But I mean both books. But I'm really pushing.
And you know, honestly, with the Gollum, I'm strongly considering having it printed in newsprint. But I don't know. I don't know how that will translate in black and white. I don't know how
that's true.
That'll do.
Yeah. I don't know how easily it is to test pages, but yeah. We'll talk. We'll have to talk to some people and see what they think.
Yeah.
Anyway, Unholy Nightmare number 2. I do have the link in the chat. It's pinned. So if you want to back Drewski over here and Aurelio with the second issue of the book, it's completed. It's written, the art's done, it's ready to go. All they have to do is print and ship. So
Kaiser has a question. I think, Kaiser, you may have to cancel your order and redo it. Cancel your pledge, then go back in and do it again, then maybe add like 2 copies of it.
Yeah, I think that's what Corey just did. So but yeah, I'm super stoked, super excited, and I'm happy to see that you guys are doing so well right out the gate. So congrats, senor. And then we might take another gander at this before we wrap up the night. But awesome. We are here to talk about top 5 comics of May 2025. And I think we got a fun night of some comic book conversations. This is the first time we've done top 5 comics since starting Floppy Drop. So I'm kind of curious to hear some feedback. Because I will say that there are some...
Kaiser. Sorry. Yeah, Kaiser, if you got the 72-hour special, yeah, I don't know if you could be able to order it again because of that. So let me find out. Let me see what. Let me ask my guy running the campaign. Let me see what we can do.
Cool.
I'm sorry, Josh. Continue.
Yeah, we'll get some answers. Good question though. I didn't think about that. So if you got the 72-hour campaign, then maybe hold off on doing that. I might just buy extra golems because I didn't do the 72. I don't think I did the 72 hour. I just picked random covers. I was like, want this, want this, want this, want this. And then added the golem to it. So if I need to, I'll go back in and I'll get extra golems, and then we can go from there. Should we ever need that? Real quick, let's look at the chat. As we saw, we got Cage and Corey in the house with evening. We also have Kaiser Jose. What's up, nerds? What's up, brother? How are you? We've got the Ezekiel. Good evening, guys. How's everyone doing? Okay, Zeke, did y'all get a lot of rain up there in the Dallas area? Because we got a shit ton. I'll have to post some pictures and videos on Twitter later because it was a lot. This is me being late and gay. Oh well. We've got JD Petty in the house. What's up, fellow birthday party clowns? BPCs. We are partying and clowning it up. That's what we're doing. Kaiser says we want Drew on Twitter. He's starting to heat up. Drew,
that's not happening.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Like, I can't because if I were to do that, I would get nothing done.
Fair. That is completely fair. We try to tempt him.
I got an answer. Okay. Kaiser Jose. So click on the manage my pledge button. Click to continue past his main tier. Oh, I guess maybe that's something I have to do. Sorry.
Okay, we'll get you sorted, Kaiser. We'll find a way to make sure you're taken care of. Oh, crap! Yes, Kaiser. We've been trying to corrupt Drew.
Yes. Sorry. Okay, I got confirmation again. He said, yeah. So Kaiser, go to manage my pledge and click to continue past the main tier section and add a 2 beside the golem add-on. Add the number 2. So,
cool.
There you go.
And then Kaiser, if that's already a problem, then just let us know and we'll try to make sure we figure something out for you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Kaiser, we've been trying to corrupt Drew and Kyle to get them on Twitter for a while.
I thought Kyle was already on there.
I don't think Kyle's on Twitter. I think he'll just sometimes like pull it up if we send links, but I don't think he's on. Maybe I don't think he's on Twitter. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, Corey's saying they had really nice weather in Tennessee as well. Drove home with the windows down and the sunroof open. The rain, nice. Yeah, the rain was gone by the time I was driving home. It's just, we had one of the highways that I take, the entire northbound lanes, they were all underwater. So they had cars merging over into part of the left turn lane just to be able to keep going. So, and Kaiser saying, I think I might be more excited for the Golem book. And then the people not backing the Golem book, they're making a huge mistake. I second that.
Or as Jack Slater would say, big mistake.
Big mistake. But yeah, let's see who else we have in here. Oh no, we got Maxfield Von Priestley, the comics crusader himself. He's not the Tism twin. Sorry, he's the comics crusader. And he's not retarded. He's just a Marine. Okay. But Max is in the house. We love Max. Good to see your brother. And then I might harass you a few more times throughout the night. Anybody else? I think that is pretty much it. And yep. So Ezekiel said they got a bit of rain today and some Sunday evening. We got some Sunday evening here as well. Thankfully no hail. Same. Thankfully no hail here.
Yeah, it's like I often wonder if I would rather deal with hail or snow, when I'm driving. And yeah. I'm leaning more toward the hail, honestly.
You would prefer hail?
Driving through hail than if I'm driving through like a snowstorm or whatever. I think I'll take the hail.
It dents the beep out of your car though.
Oh, it does. It does.
Yeah,
But
I
driving
don't.
through a whiteout, whiteouts are not fun.
I mean, here in Texas, if we've got that kind of snow, we just don't drive. We're like,
Okay.
well, sorry about it.
No, for
But
us it's a Tuesday.
also, yeah, I know that's true. Hail for us though, yeah, like it damages cars, homes. Like you end
Mhm,
up having to get roofs replaced. Like it's a pain in the butt.
mhm.
So, um, yeah. So Ezekiel did say I'm gonna get Gollum too. Val saw the cover and we're both blown away. I'm telling you, just wait till you see the interior art because I Vu's art is really, really good, but it's also just something else when you see his interior art and just the
Yeah,
sequential storytelling.
yeah. So if you guys watch the Friday night live stream that we had on Wes's channel, we showed the first page
Mhm.
on the live stream. So if you guys uh, play that back, you'll be able to see the first page, what that looks like. And yeah, the cover directly reflects what's on the interior.
Absolutely. Um, yeah. Let's go ahead and get into our topic for tonight. So, top 5 comics of May 2025. Um, as always, we're going to prove to you that we don't know how to count. We might have a few more than 5 picks. But I will say, Drew, I struggled to get a top 5 because there were a lot of really shitty number 1s that came out this month.
Yeah, there were shitty number ones, but I honestly had no problem getting 10. I could have had more than 10. Just good
I
books.
agree. Like even looking at yours, I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like I was like your list. I was 100% on board with. I was like, uh, I would have had trouble deciding my top 10 out of those 10 or top 5 out of those 10. But I was trying to go through because at first I was like, oh, and I'm thinking of books. It's like, oh no, wait, that technically was June. Don't count that. So then I was looking back and I was like, what the beep, man? Because everything I was trying to flip through to find it was all the just not great stuff. Marvel had quite a few number ones come out, and almost none of them were good. There might be one on here. There might be one, and some of you might give me shit because there might be stuff that I was like, yeah, I'm not crazy about this when we did floppy drop, but retrospectively, it made the list. So let's go ahead and get things started. We're going to jump into our honorable mentions as we always do. And Drew, we're going to come in with your number 10 pick, and it is Superman number 26, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Sean Isaacs and Eddie Barrows and colors by Alejandro Sanchez. So tell me about this. What do you like? Why is it in your top 10?
So I am in a love-hate relationship with the Superman title right now, because there are gleams of brilliance here in this series.
Mm,
Issue 25 and this issue have incredible gleams of brilliance from the art of Eddie Barrows to Josh Williamson's prose, uh, as well as making Lex evil again and taking away Lois' superpowers. Spoiler alert.
yeah.
But but then you have moments where it's, what the hell are you doing? Bringing in multiple artists for an issue, like, it's. I mean, look, Eddie Barrows should be doing the full interiors of every issue, but the
Yeah.
fact you have like 2, maybe 3 other artists coming in to finish the art, it's like, no, no, don't. Take your time. Let Eddie take his time and let him do it. This guy's an artistic genius. Let him finish it up. You're going to be changing the tone of it. Um, and the other issues I've been having are like giving Lex a daughter and bringing in a BS character like Misty Moonlight or whatever the hell her name is. Who gives a shit about her, really? I mean, no one but Joshua Williamson.
Yeah.
She's an
Yeah.
obnoxious character. Focus on Superman. Other than that, yeah, it's got gleams of brilliance. It's almost there. It wants to be there, but it's just it's on the cusp.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm still catching up a little bit with Superman. I know that Dylan was talking about Superman on Wes's show Saturday, and there's things that he's liking, but there's also things that he doesn't like, and some of it is a lot of the Lex related stuff. So
Yeah.
that seems to be a pretty general consensus. And it's just something about. I'm not saying his writing's bad, but there's something about Josh Williamson at DC versus what he does outside, mainly with the GI Joe Energon verse. Like it's so vastly different. But
Oh, 100%.
yeah, But I don't know if it's he's got like good writing partners and editors there at the Energon side that are all like when you have a bunch of creative people and all cylinders are firing and they're openly working to do the best work possible, like it makes a difference. And from what we hear about DC and Marvel, you're not getting much support. If anything, you have people getting in your way. So
Mhm.
if that's the case, I kind of wish they would just get out of his way, let him do his thing, and go from there. Um. Oh no! Oh no! What is this? JD Petty says Josh pronounced Energon like I did when I was 11, and Transformers Energon first. Am I saying it wrong? Energon?
It's Energon.
Is it not Energon, JD? Someone let me
No,
know.
it's Energon.
Listen, guys, y'all know how gullible I am. Don't give me crap. I'm gonna fall for it. Let's move on to our next honorable mention from the Drewski coming in at number 9. We've got Hyde Street, number 6, written by Jeff Johns, art by Francis Portela, and colors by Brad Anderson. I look, first thing right off the bat is the fact that Ivan Rice isn't on art makes me like go, oh, but the art was not bad.
Yeah, no, the art is good. The guy does a solid job filling in for Ivan Reese,
Yep.
and that's one thing I got to give Jeff Johns and team at Ghost Machine is that they've done a fantastic job of having quality artists in to do fill in issues. But like it when you sell, how should I say this politely? Look, I love Ivan Reese. He is
Yeah.
a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant artist. He is fantastic. This is the only book he's doing,
Yeah.
and it's like, why not take that extra time and let him do the issues, do all the issues? I don't get that. He's part of the selling point for this series.
I agree.
But
This
other than that, let's talk about the issue.
Yeah.
It's so we get introduced to more of the Soul Snatchers on Hyde
Yes.
Street in this issue, and some of them are pretty interesting. Hope we get to learn more about them. But make no mistake, this is the Mr. X-Ray show, and oh boy, does he have a big show in store for a tour bus coming through Hyde Street. But as well in the background, you got that little pissant Boy Scout stirring
Yep.
the shit pot, which always makes for some good laughs.
Always.
It's a fun issue, and this continues to be a fun series. It's just I wish Ivan Reese was doing the art in this issue.
Yeah. I agree. I think this is a really fun series. It's creepy. It's got, horror elements, but it also has like the whole Twilight Zone type tinges to it in a way. And I love that we're getting to see more and more of these oh crap, what are they called again? The
Soul Snatchers.
Soul Snatchers, yeah. Because I think it just makes it more fun, and you start getting this element like, are we going to meet someone new, and who are we going to meet, and what's their story going to be, and what dynamic are they now going to bring into this crazy world we're in? But Mr. X-Ray is definitely the star of the show here, and it's a lot of fun. And considering how, I don't want to say it was completely boring, his stuff was in that very first issue, but now that we've kind of built and seen things happen, I'm on board. But great call here, and kudos to Francis Portela, solid work. But I am with you. I don't know if it's just that Ivan is slow, or I really don't know what it is. But this is the only book he's on. I don't even know if he's doing covers right now. So it just blows my mind. But this is kind of, and I hate to say this, but this is kind of his MO. Like, he'll come in, do a few issues, and then bounce to have a fill-in artist come in for a bit and then come back. And it happened at DC quite a bit. It was happening on Detective Comics. It happened on Justice League of America when he was on. So I don't know. I don't know if they just need to give him more of a head start and get more issues in the can. But
I mean, even if he needs to get looser with the pencils and have someone coming in to finish his stuff or whatever,
yeah,
do that.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't hurt for sure. And I will say, I do think this was some of the best work that he's been doing that I've seen him do in a while, especially for a monthly book. Like, he's been killing it with this title. And
he has. Yeah, and I felt so bad for him. on Detective with Mariko Tamaki, I'm like, God, you're working on this shit script, on this
Oh
shit
god.
event, and he deserves so much better. But fortunately, he has improved. He's gotten better since then.
Yeah, I will say that detective story started off okay, but then the moment they went to that Arkham Tower, it turned to shit. And I think that's when he actually stepped in because it was Dan Mora at first, and then he came in for the event, and it was god
Oh,
awful.
that's
That
right. It
event
was
was,
Dan. Damn, I
yeah,
forgot about that.
yeah, craziness. Let's see what the people are saying. JD is saying he must have misheard. He thought I said Energon instead of Energon. I may have, man. My sinuses are a little off, so I may have been like trying to get some air, and it came out with a hard G. Better than a hard R, though. Am I right?
Yes.
We Ezekiel said Hyde Street has been a fun ride. Great villain artist. Agreed. I look. I know we sound negative. It's just one of those things. Like you want the good stuff, right? And that's not a diss to Portello. He did a great job. But I think when you're getting that peak, you really just want to keep getting that peak, and it's hard not to feel a little sold short when you can't get like even a full 6 issues out of it. So, um,
It's funny. I was going through a comic book shop this past weekend, and they had the new DC Epic the new DC like Epic collections, or whatever, to the
mm,
decades or whatever. They
mhm.
had one of the Superman stuff where Neil Adams did a bunch of the covers, and I was under the misconception that Neil did the interiors too, but open it up, it's like, oh, it's Kurt Swan and other fill-in
Oh,
artists with the amazing Neil Adams covers. It's like I can't begin to imagine feeling that disappointed. Look,
oh yeah.
no knock at Kurt Swan, but when he's doing the interiors and you got fucking Neil Adams on the covers, it's like it's a letdown.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I agree. That used to be some of my biggest issues with comics when they definitely sell one thing with the cover, and then what they give you isn't exactly it. But yeah, Kaiser Jose put that little shit stain reminds me of a more calm Ranger Stranger.
Yeah.
I love that little guy. He's hilarious. So and then Salty Traveling Sea is in the house. What's up, brother? It's nice to see you here. And he put respect of the Hyde Street Call. Agreed. It's a good book. I,
Yeah.
Everything at Ghost Machine, for the most part, has been good, if not excellent. And I just don't understand why it's not getting more buzz than it is. So if you haven't been reading the Ghost Machine titles, go check them out. A lot of their trades are hitting right now, so it's a good time to jump on board and discover these books. Ezekiel does have a question. Do you risk going bi-monthly and having Reese on the art?
Possibly. I mean, I have no problem with
Yeah,
this going bi-monthly and having. I would have no problem this
yeah.
going bi-monthly. And, I mean, look at this point with Ghost Machine, it seems like Red Coat is almost turning bi-monthly at this point.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, Rook is on not necessarily hiatus, but we're waiting for Volume 2, which is going to be whenever the hell that is.
Yeah, I think
Um,
they said later this year, but I might be wrong.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but they did say for Rook they did 6 issues and then they paused it for a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look if the whole kind of idea that Jeff Johns has is we want to use the best artists and we want to make sure they're doing quality work. I think whatever that looks like or needs to look like, I think is fine. And we're seeing that the comics industry is changing to a degree in terms of how they're producing books. And I think Mark Miller is kind of the one that led the way with this, just doing all these little mini series, like these 5-6 issue mini series, and just dropping him in little pods of here you go, here you go, here you go. And I would say if you went back 10 years ago, they'd probably say, "Oh, you can't do that. That's not going to work." But it's working. So but yeah, Ezekiel, to give you an idea, maybe go bi-monthly. There's probably other options to, uh, maybe you get an artist that's similar or has a certain style to do certain pages of like a character, so it's got a different vibe. There's a number of things you can do that would help kind of get a steady release date, but keep them on there. No M bombs. Just running with the hard R joke. And hard R is Kitty Pryde's new.
No
Oh gosh. Oh
kidding.
man. You know what?
What? I feel so. What the hell happened to Kitty? My God,
It's Kate, and she's a lesbian pirate. Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Hard R being Kitty Pryde's new hero name, if you haven't checked our book club, go check it out. We did do God Loves Man Kills, and she says the word there. So Kaiser said he's enjoying Halo and Hornsby. I'm behind on that. I need to get caught up. And then Salty said Ghost Machine titles are always selling out at my LCS. Same with mine, but I'm hearing from friends of mine that are comic shop owners that there are a lot of shops that don't even order Ghost Machine, which
Yeah.
blows my mind. And even the rep for Ghost Machine has been pushing to try and get more people, more shops to get the book. So there's opportunities there. So if you're reading it, if you're a fan of it, share it. Make sure people know that it's out there because it looks like some shops aren't really.
See, I think if they had a book like Unholy Nightmare with some very colorful and awesome, unique superhero characters, be an easier sell.
Absolutely. Ezekiel put just wish Rockefellers would pick up the pace. Yeah, I do like the family dynamic, but I feel like it needs to go somewhere. I will say I really trust Pete Tomasi though, so I'm down for what he's doing, and I'm willing to be patient because I know he delivers. And Kaiser Jose, the Rook hardcover is coming out soon. Hell yeah, it is. Again, these trades are have released or are releasing and worth checking out. And then Ezekiel also added that Red Coat has been great. I think Red Coat's been my favorite Ghost Machine title.
Same.
It's just a lot of fun, and it's kind of hitting all these different genres and doing some really fun stuff with American folklore. So, yeah. Yeah, let's keep on going. Max said, "Do we think Ghost Machine needs to produce more books?"
I don't think so. I would not say necessarily more, but I would say more on a more say the same amount, probably on a more frequent basis.
Yeah,
that's the issue. And what the hell happened to Brad Meltzer? I want to know what happened to Brad Meltzer. He was one of the big selling points. He had a book coming out. I don't know what the hell happened with that, if he's even doing that anymore.
Well, wasn't Francis Manipal supposed to be doing a book as well?
Yes, he was. Well, wait a minute. Isn't he doing the Rockefellers?
Oh, he is doing Rockefellers. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Yep, my bad. I was also thinking because he did writing for a while, and I was like, I haven't seen him writing a book, and that's where my mind was going. But yes, he should be doing art before he's doing writing. That's not to say he's a bad writer; he's just a better artist.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I tried reading his Flash run when the new 52. I think he did, and I'm like, yeah, I'm dropping this like a bad habit. No thanks.
Yeah. So he wrote for Detective for a while during the new 52, and it wasn't bad. In fact, I felt like all of his stories started off really, really good, but he failed to stick the landing on almost every single one of them. So that was a bummer. Darth Messiah did ask, welcome Darth Messiah. Good to see you here, brother. Why can't these artists keep up a monthly schedule? Is it other projects or time-consuming art? I think it depends on the artist. You've got some artists.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I understand, but I'm not trying to make excuses for him because Neil never took the excuse. But I know Ivan's getting older. Ivan's an older guy, but that's no excuse. I mean, Neil was in his 70s and he was still banging out covers and interiors like it was his job, like it was nothing. And I understand that as you get older, you get a little bit slower to look for shortcuts. But I mean, come on, this is your only title.
Yeah.
He's not doing variants or anything.
No. I'm not really sure what's going on. Look, to answer the question, there's always a couple of things that could be coming into play. Sometimes artists have health issues. Sometimes it's a matter of they're just slow with the art. Sometimes they're doing too many projects, and sometimes they just can't keep their ass off social media. It's like pick your poison. You never fully know. But we do have Jamin D in the house. What's up, Jamin? And Kaiser's confirming his LCS stopped ordering a lot of indies. Yeah, it's rough, man. So even my local shop, they have talked about how Dave, our comic shop owner, is like, man, like he spent honestly the past 5 to 10 years really trying to push indie books, and just people aren't responding. It's like people have this FOMO that if they stop buying like Amazing Spider-Man because they've said it sucked for the past 2 years, they're gonna suddenly just miss out on the greatest story ever, and they just keep plugging money into that, and it's a shame because a lot of really good books either end prematurely or just never get the attention that they deserve. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our next honorable mention of the night. And coming in at number 8, we have Transformers number 20, written by Daniel Warren Johnson with art by Jorge Corona and colors by Mike Spicer. Was this the I'm gonna rip your arm off and beat you with it
Probably.
issue?
Yeah. This is
Okay.
the yeah, bro. This is the Megatron. This is the
Yeah.
Megatron show, and holy crap, he goes on a revenge streak in this issue. Everyone from Astro Train to Starscream feels his wrath, and
Yeah.
it is glorious. And we also see that there's more going on with the humans and Ultra Magnus. We have some great moments between Optimus Prime and the main kid. They're spending time talking
Yeah.
about the matrix of leadership, what it's capable of, and by the end of this issue, it's not looking good for anybody, especially the Autobots. I the the it's escalation. Each issue keeps escalating and escalating, and
Yep.
I am like an 8-year-old eating my Captain Crunch watching Transformers right now. I just can't wait for the next chapter. I'm so ecstatic for this series.
Drew, you say you can't wait for the next chapter, but Max is coming in with so low.
But
Which I'm gonna say, Max, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the list, it was lower than what I expected as
I
well.
look, it's true, but like other stuff in here. I mean, if you
Fair.
look at what we got, it's like
It was a good.
it's
We had
not.
some good
I'm not
books.
saying it's not bad at all. It's just there's so I have a lot of great stuff on this list, and this is just another on the list. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love the issue.
But he did follow up with this issue is so damn good, top 5 worthy. Yeah. Listen, just keep giving Drew crap, and then y'all can give me crap later when I get to my top 5. Because oof, oof, oof. But yeah, no, I agree. I loved this issue, and I especially loved that conversation with Optimus Prime and the kid, and even the way that they drew the art. Because I remember they had that one panel to really show how big Optimus Prime is, so they gave you that perspective of his arm reaching out for the kid,
Yeah,
and that whole scene was just fantastic. And then the rest of the book is just holy shit.
yeah.
Uh,
It's the Megatron Revenge Tour, and it's
oh my
awesome.
god, it was just like intense nonstop
Balls
action,
to
and
the
these are
walls,
robots.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just I for the life of me, I wish I could be at a convention where Jorge Corona's at because I want to see his originals. I would love to see the pencils and inks of these pages, and I would be hard pressed to not buy a page, honestly, if I ever saw these at a convention.
For real though, I'm with you on that one.
Especially for
Um,
this issue, with the
yeah,
Astro Train stuff. Oh my god, I loved it.
yeah. There are certain things that I think of from the series so far that I would definitely get if I had the opportunity to. I'd try to buy the original art on. Um, we have Salty Traveling Sea coming in with very good call. Thank you. Well, I guess I should say thank you for Drew. Drew. This is Drew's list. And we have Dean coming in with I have an odd question. When you open up a comic, do you look at the scene first or the artwork, or do you read the word bubbles first?
I look at the scene.
And see, you know what? It depends. I think I typically go for the word bubbles first, unless there is something striking about the art that really just kind of draws me in.
It's
I
got
go
to.
for the
It's the
words.
first page. It has to
Yeah.
draw you in.
So, but yeah, it can depend. And look, a lot of indie books they have just okay art sometimes. So for those, yeah, it's definitely the writing. Um, but if you've got banger art, then you can't help but see it.
But now, if you're someone like Brian Michael Bendis, who will have like a massive face
Oh,
on the opening page with literally 20 or more word bubbles,
yep,
it, no, I've checked out.
yep.
I am done.
Yeah, I used to check out when was covering Tynan and reviewing Tynan's Batman stuff, and I'd open the book and it was like a wall of exposition. I was like, Jesus Christ, you have an artist for a reason, man.
Yeah.
Use them. Darth Messiah put hot take. I like IDW Transformers. I get the complaints, but I still enjoyed what they did. Was this pre-trans Transformers
Yeah,
or
yeah. Was this pre-Stunning and Brave Transformers? Yeah.
stunning and brave? I'm a transformer.
Transformer.
And then he asked, "Will Dana Warren Johnson's run end with number 24 and be remembered, or continue with a new creative team?" It is ending with 24. I don't know. I think they're going to continue the number, like keep going with the numbering though for whoever steps in. So, which honestly, probably the smart thing to do. Just try to keep going. Don't announce that this Rockstar team is leaving.
Yeah,
You know,
you
like
can't.
don't like yeah. Just try to keep whatever goodwill you can have going, because if you give people a reason to jump off, they might jump off.
Yeah,
Like I think
I'm not gonna lie. Look, Josh, if they come on and say we got Brian Michael Bendis and we got Alex Mayleave doing Transformers, like I am gone, I am done. That is not happening.
yeah. Look, I love Alex Maleev, but I don't know if he'd be good for Transformers. And God, please don't put Bendis on there. Anybody but Bendis. Well, you know what? I take that back, because there's plenty of people that are just as shitty of a writer. And it is my mic coming in weird or something? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my sinuses and my allergies and me trying to just breathe. So if you hear like, just know that I can't breathe through my nose right now. But or maybe it's my mic clipping and doing weird stuff. Banger art. And then Darth Messiah is just confirming that all three phases to him, it was just exploring new sci-fi ideas with a race of beings different than humans. That's fair.
That's fair, but I would counter with the minute you start invoking human biological issues in situations into robots, there's a bit of a problem.
Oh no, my robot penis is broken. What will I do? Don't worry, we'll put a vagina on you.
We'll split
Yay.
it into an octopus.
Oh. All
Into
right.
an octocon. Yeah.
Oh, Max, stop giving me a hard time. I'm self-conscious. I'm kidding. I'm not. I was gonna feel bad if I'm like swallowing words over here, and you guys are like, "What the fuck did he just say?" Let's move on to our next honorable mention. I think this is 7.
Correct.
Yeah, 7. We've got Space Ghost, number 12, written by David Pepose, art by Jonathan Lau, and colors by Andrew Dahlhaus. And this was another one where I was like, solo?
I've got a lot of great stuff ahead of this, and when we get to number 6, I gotta we'll get to number 6. But this one, look, Space Ghost continues to be one of the very best in the industry right now.
Agreed.
You have a solid team all the way around, from David Pepose writing it, Jonathan Lau illustrating every fucking issue, no breaks. This is an example of someone who's putting in the time and the hours and the work, and not phoning it in, not letting someone else do a fill-in. He's doing every issue banger after banger. And Andrew Dahlhaus in the colors, one of the best colorists in the business. It is a beautiful, beautiful looking book. And this issue is awesome. And like it says right there, yeah, the Council of Doom. This is all about the Council of Doom, baby. They are taking out Space Ghost, and it is not looking good for Space Ghost. But can the Council of Doom work together? Can they work together long enough to take down Space Ghost? You got to read to find out. Look, this story, this run is going to go down as this is already, in my opinion, this has passed the DC run that they did with Ariel Olivetti on the art.
Yeah,
I think Joe Kelly wrote it. This is past that. This series has exceeded any metrics that we had, and it set a high bar every week this comes out, and it's just like Transformers. I can't wait for the next chapter every week.
Yeah, this is I mean, just from day one, this has been a great book. And I would say the first like 3 or 4 issues, part of me was like, yeah, I'm having fun with this, but it's not hitting me or giving me enough of a substance to make me want to like get grounded in it, I guess is maybe the way to put it. But then you hit like issues 5 and 6 of that first arc, and I was like, oh nope, that's out the window. Like we are on board. Um, I've really been enjoying this. And kudos. I remember watching the Space Ghost cartoons when I was little, and
Same.
then I remember Space Ghost Coast to Coast coming out after that, and I was upset because he was less Batman like, and why?
Yeah, it
but
became it became a punchline. I'm like, this isn't Space Ghost.
Yeah. But just to kind of keep the praise for Jonathan Lau, like I mean, this guy, as far as work wise and the fact that he's churning books out, part of me wonders like if he's just kind of like another Dan Mora where he can just, he's probably gonna be like, yo, I can do a second book. Like you throw it at me. And we'll be like, oh shit.
I'm hard pressed to at this point, like if he's done every issue so far, it's like, well, you know what? Maybe if he's doing a bi-monthly book, he can do that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
look, all I'm gonna say is next year or so, he will be at the big two. He will be working on Batman or something along those lines. I guarantee
Yeah.
it. This guy will be on Batman at some point.
And will be well deserved. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like he'll probably get to like 18 to 24 issues of Space Ghost, and then you're probably going to end up seeing him. Yeah,
Dude,
get
that's going to
scooped
be
up.
Jesus. When is the last time an artist did every issue, like 24 issues? I mean, besides like, probably the Walking Dead artist, he did 24 or more, and the Invincible artist. It's happened, but today it's very, very, very rare.
It is. It definitely is. And honestly, I said his name a second ago, but Dan Moore is the only artist that I can think of. And if he didn't, it was because he got moved from one book to another. But then didn't actually take a month off. It's just that he got moved from this title to this title. And yeah, wild. But great work coming from this. Let's see what some of the comments are. We got Salty coming in with another affirmation, another good call. Completely agree here. I'm absolutely loving this book. JD Petty put, Perch's favorite writer. Yeah, well, when you write night letters telling Perch you should or shouldn't talk to people, that's a mistake. And look, I'm blocked by David Pepos, and it kind of pisses me off. And I'm blocked simply because I associate with Perch and Wes, and I think that's stupid and shitty, and I think he should be smarter than that. Because I would love to go on Twitter and tell him how great his book is. I would love to tag him in posts being like, Space Ghost is excellent. Why aren't you reading it? But he's got to be a little bit of a little bee, and, whatever. To each their own. I always say that, I can separate art from the artist, and I feel like that proves it here. I'm loving what he's doing. So, Darth Messiah is asking, is Space Ghost new reader friendly? Yes. That first arc, they really set up the story to let you know what's going on. So if you're not familiar with the character, go get that first trade. It's a great jumping in point, or it's a great origin, I guess, for the most part, to get you started in the story. And then Joe, gosh, I'm reading Joe Kelly's name. Drew said he thinks it's better than Joe Kelly's. So I haven't read the Joe Kelly miniseries, so I can't speak to it, but I will say I'm loving this run from Pepos and Lau.
And I will say because at this point it's been 12 issues, but it's the fact that he's brought in the Rogues Gallery. He's brought in like almost the entire Rogues Gallery of Space Ghost, and he's made every single one of them a legitimate threat. They're not punchlines. That's what's great about it.
Oh, agreed. Jamin D put, you can jump on the read if you've never read or seen the cartoon even. Of course, it'll enhance your experience if you do know about it, but still doesn't matter. So good and just pure fun. I agree. It really is just pure fun. And then, once you kind of find out what happened to his family, you get some heart in there too. So, Max, I can never forgive Pepos for what he did to my boy. Do you mean Perch or do you mean Punisher? Which P are you talking about? Which P did Pepos pee on for you? And is it both? Because it could be both. But yes, both were not Not good situations. Oh God, Punish. My hey man, we're gonna shoot some people. Hey, man,
Pew,
my
pew,
name
pew, pew,
Punisher,
pew, pew,
man.
pew. Yeah, they're dead, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna pew pew. Yeah, I mean, I saw you dead, man. Okay. God, I hated that. I hated the book. I liked my Boomhauer voice. We have our Cannoli Sasquatch in the house with more comic recommendations. God help me. Sorry, bro. That's what I do. I'll make you go bankrupt. Cannoli, tell Sassy I said hello. I meant to text her over the weekend because I saw she's taking a little bit of a break from YouTube. But I love you guys, and I might have to steal y'all for some stuff. And then Ezekiel was asking Max, do you think it was more of a Marvel thing than Peppo's? His Space Ghost run has been great. Um, yeah, look, I will tell you right now that editors will rewrite stuff from these scripts to fit what they want. It's happened for years. It still happens. A lot of editors will dictate the story that's being told. So you'll have editors tell the writers, "Hey, you're writing this story, and this needs to happen in the story." You kind of like, I guess, kind of tether your actual creative person down. But Peppo's hasn't been the best in terms of like public. Like he's definitely got opinions. And look, by all means, have your opinions, but
Yeah.
Potentially don't shit on your fans. Just throwing that out there. Jamin D, Max always try to forgive, just never forget. You tell him, Jamin, forgive, don't forget. And let's see what else is there. Yeah, listen, look, as far as writers blocking people, like if you're being a total douche knuckle, then yeah, you might get blocked. I
Yeah, the
think that
only time I block people is if they're trying to sell me 3D models of my characters, or yeah, they're asking like a lot of weird questions
yeah.
about the book where it's just like it's pretty self-explanatory. Just it's like, are you trying to make your own characters based around my characters? It's just that's really the only time I'll do that.
Yeah. I've seen where creatives have blocked people for just being an absolute nuisance. Like it's almost to the point of just harassment. That even when there are posts that have nothing to do with the book, maybe it's a picture of family, some idiot that has no life and nothing better to do will go in the comments, leave like 15 comments talking about how shit they are for writing this and whatever. At that point, get a life. And yeah, I'd probably block you at that point. The thing that upset me with this is like we had never interacted at all. Like there was no reason to block 80% of the people that he blocked. So he probably did a blockchain, but it was based on people associated with Perch and West, which was stupid. You've got two of the biggest comic book channels on YouTube, and you're blocking them, and you're writing letters threatening one of them that if he doesn't stop associating with other people, then there'll be consequences. Like, bro, come on. Enough of that though. We're here for good this week.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right, yeah. That looks like that is pretty much it for Space Ghost. Let's go ahead and go on to our number 6. And that is none other than Huck Big Bad World #1, written by Mark Miller with art by Raphael Albuquerque and colors by Dave McCaig. Drew, I'm gonna let you take this away for a bit.
Yeah, so I have a little story about Huck. Initially, when the first series came out, like over a decade ago, I swear, Mark Miller pitched it as a man with learning disabilities with superpowers. So like Simple Jack with Superman powers. I swear that's like how he pitched it. And so, but to me at that point when I heard that, I was like, no, I'm not interested in that. That just sounds depressing to me. But as time went on, and after reading him in the big game event, that wasn't him at all. He was a regular guy. It seemed like a regular good guy with superpowers. He seems to just be a good person, and I think Mark pitched it incorrectly initially, and just he made it sound like he was stupid. But he's a guy with a good heart, with a big heart. And when you're a good person, who's in love with a woman who's also a mother that you've kept safe, done everything for, and she goes back to the clearly abusive piece of shit and speaking disparagingly of Huck, it pisses you off. That's what happens in this. Huck is in love with a young woman who's a mom, and but she turns her back on him. She goes back to, I guess, goes back to the dad of her kid because he can change. Oh, I know he was abusive. I know he did this. I know he did that, but he can change. He's back. He said he'll be better. And you just see the heartbreak, the defeat on Huck's face because you just tell this is a guy who loves her and loves her kid and is willing to do anything for her. And then you had this piece of shit come into the picture and speak disparagingly to Huck. And it's just like, you know what? You know what? Good riddance. But it's sad because there's a lot of truth to life to this because I've known quite a few women like this, where women who will be in a crappy relationship, they'll leave, knowing it's a crappy relationship, get with a great guy who's an absolute winner, but they leave him, go back to the piece of shit because they said, oh, he said he'll be better. He said he's changed. Things will be different now. And it's like there is so much truth to life to this, and you just feel
Yep.
bad for a character like Huck. And that's why this is why it's kind of higher up on my list because I felt it pulled at the heartstrings, this issue.
Yes. I will say that yes, I completely agree with you. I might be a little biased, but I would be one to be like, man, women are the worst. But no, I think you're right, and I think that's part of it. I'm not going to say too much, but I would just say around these parts, we would say Huck is a good old boy, meaning he
Yeah.
just has the best intentions. And I live in a small farm town. There are a lot of people with this type of mentality, and what I hate seeing, especially here, and kind of taking it that real world perspective, there are a lot of guys out here, and that's the way they live. That's their mentality. They're just simple country guys that want to live a good life and take care of their wife and family, and that's their mission. That's what they devote themselves to. And in retrospect to that, there are a lot of females out here that get raised and they are daddy's little princess that can do no wrong, and then they think they are deserving of the whole kit and caboodle. And oftentimes they confuse lust with love and make really bad choices, as you see in this book. So,
Yep.
I am not going to talk much more on this for reasons, which are probably obvious if you've tuned into the show before. But yes, it looks like we have some people excited that this is here. Ezekiel came in with Huck. He loved the first volume, and that big game got him interested in Huck. So I think those are all valid statements there. And he did say that Albuquerque's art here is better than Superman Unlimited. Man, that
100%.
is not a joke. Like Albuquerque's art in Superman Unlimited was god awful. To the point that I thought it was someone trying to imitate Albuquerque, and then found out it was Albuquerque, and I was like, "What? What's happening?" So I think that was a rush for Albuquerque, but yeah, definitely better here. Jamin D coming in with, by the way, congratulations to Drew. His Kickstarter's almost at the finish line, over 4,000. Touch wood.
Thanks,
Indeed, man.
We're almost there. Like I said, it's just like I said. What really really helps is just word of mouth, spreading the word, letting your friends know, letting their friends know, telling your comic book store owners, telling it. Just really spread the word, guys. Word of mouth is the strongest tool in making a crowdfunder successful. So really, everyone watching, please spread the word about this. I'm doing everything I can on my end, Instagram, Facebook. That only gets me so far. And you guys reaching out to the people who I don't have contact with, that helps.
Indeed. Yeah. If you can share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, it helps get the word out so that people that might like comics can go check it out. Cajun Corey was asking if the copy of Unholy Nightmare that Gary got was a preview of 2 or book 1.
I think that what he was holding up, that was a preview of issue 2. That's what he was holding up.
Yeah. So I think Gary got book one or the preview of book one too, though, last year. I think we gave him for sure a preview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Preview of issue 1. Yeah,
So he's definitely aware that it's out there. And same with Nick Weiser. Nick Weiser got it. Nick Weiser read issue one, loved it.
yeah,
Lost it because he was drunk. But we're always hooking Nick up. So, but yeah, I mean, look, the response to Unholy Nightmare 1 has been really good, and then I think the fact that we're seeing these people return for issue 2 says a lot. And I like we're still not even a half a week at that into the
yeah,
campaign. So
yeah.
yeah, I think we're going to be doing really well. So, all right, Drewski, are you ready to move into our top 5?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, as a reminder, Drew gives a general top 5, or in this case, top 10 this week, for overall books that were released. I come in with a top 5 debuts because when you have so many books hitting the shelf, sometimes it's hard to know what to get. Sometimes budget wise, you can't read everything. Our goal is to try to get you on board with some stuff you may not be reading, or maybe help you decide whether a new book is worth picking up. So we'll kick things off with my number 5 for the month of May, number 5 debut for the month of May. And this might surprise people because I wasn't so kind to it in Floppy Drop, but I will say a lot of times when reading these books, and I will say this is not a perfect book, but a lot of times while reading these books, I think if you're not in the right mindset, it can change your experience in reading it. And sometimes I need to go back and take a second read. So there's 2 books on my list this week that fall into that. But coming in for number 5 for me is Spider-Man and Wolverine number 1, written by Mark Guggenheim, art by Kari Andrews, and colors by Brian Rebar. Now, look, I will openly admit there are times that I love Kari Andrews' art, and there's times where I'm like, it looks like a little much. But I will say, looking back at this was a lot of fun, and I tried to think of it. I stopped at one point, and I was like, "Man, this cover kind of reminds me of the Capcom versus Marvel games," and I try to just take that perspective and think about just having fun with it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think once I let some expectation get out of my way, I really enjoyed this. I kind of enjoyed the setup with Logan and where we go, and that opening page, which you can see here, is he's just destroying shit, and then he ends up meeting this like spy guy, and we kind of kick the story off from there. And there, I think, if you spend the issue wondering like, okay, so why is he scooping up Peter Parker? You do find out at the end. And I will say that's still not one of my favorite plot points. Um, because it is a lift from the MCU. They're like, hey, we're gonna take this and use it, but it worked in the MCU. It pseudo works here. We'll see what happens in the next issue, but it definitely gives you a solid cliffhanger to want to come back and read more. And yes, JD Petty, this is Arrow Mark Guggenheim, which is also not a strong suit for me. I do not like the guy's writing, but this was fun. There's a lot of good stuff here, and that fight that you have kind of starting halfway through between Spider-Man, Wolverine, Omega Red, and Craven is just a shit ton of fun. And you've got that one. What I think Kerry Andrews does well is the perspective, like the framing and perspective of which he quote unquote shoots the panel. You've got that one where it's like you've got Spider-Man's thwips and he's coming like directly at you. That was fun. That was good stuff there. So, and Drew, I know you really enjoyed this and had a lot of fun with this when we discussed it.
I did. It just got edged out. It just I thoroughly enjoyed this issue. And Kerry Andrews, he is, in my opinion, he's an artistic genius. And honestly, at this point, Marvel needs more Kerry Andrews. They need more artists like this.
I agree.
They need big, explosive, bombastic artists. Look, I understand. I respect Joe Quesadilla, but I don't agree with his approach that everything needs to be fucking photorealistic.
Yeah.
And I think that's only detrimental to comic books. And it really weakened the art in Marvel in the early 2000s, in my opinion. It's probably not a popular opinion, but that's my opinion. And I really feel like we need to return to this big, bombastic, spectacular art to bring out that, whoa, holy shit, this is nuts. This is awesome. Because you're not going to get that with a photo. And
No.
I love Kerry Andrews with what he's bringing. He knows how to lay out a page.
Yeah, look, I like realistic art, but there's times, and we've talked about this, where sometimes that more cartoony look, and not to say this is cartoony, but the less realistic look actually works better. If you're,
It's
yeah,
exaggerated.
yeah, and not even just to like, oh, it's a bombastic action story, which I think this is, and Kari's art plays into that. But even sometimes, if you look at like books like Feral, it's a quote unquote cartoony art, but like you feel the emotions in that book. And I even think back to Tomasi and Patrick Gleason when they were doing Batman and Robin and Superman. It's a very lighthearted look to the book. Like Gleason's art is very lighthearted and warm, and um, feels a little juvenile in the look. But when they hit dramatic moments, you feel it. And sometimes when you have realistic art and that happens, you don't feel it because you have this uncanny valley thing going on, where it's just like the emotion doesn't convey like it should, because there's just something about it that doesn't seem natural and realist in the realism. So you gotta just take what you can get. But yeah, had a lot of fun with this. And Max is coming in with a woo. So he's excited. He and Kyle were kind of laying into me a little bit when I was like, yeah, I don't know. But on rereading, I did have more fun. I was still mad about that whole dating scene with the girlfriend. That was the one thing I hated from this book. Spider-Man and his home chick having lunch, but other than that, a lot of good stuff here. So nice number 5. Um, and then JD Petty is asking, also, didn't Caseta have Pat Lee involved in Marvel Knights? His style does not have a photorealistic look, even if his characters cannot emote. I would have to look that up.
I would say it wasn't photorealistic, but it was just very flat. It wasn't. It just if you look at a lot of that art from that time, it was just flat, and it wasn't like this. They've really moved away from this art
Yeah.
style to bring in a more serious, more adult, darker, realistic edge, and it really took away that big explosive exciting stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. There was a book that we covered at Batman News that was Kami Garcia wrote it. I can't remember the artist, but it was one of the Black Label books, and it was about Joker and Harley. And
That's the one with the Miko Soyan on the art, right? The criminal
possibly,
insanity or criminal like the
yes,
yeah.
yes. But that say what you're describing, same thing there. It just felt so flat. Like there are pages that it was beautiful, but story wise, man, it just felt flat. So yeah, that was the name. I was like, I cannot remember this name to save the life of me. All right, Drewski, your number 5 pick for May 2025 is Aquaman, number 5, written by Jeremy Adams, art by John Timms, colors by Rex Locus. Let's talk about Aquaman. Jeremy Adams continuing to deliver. Not only, well, he's delivered in a lot of books. So take it away.
Yeah, and it's an absolute crime that this series isn't selling better.
Yep.
If we talked about this,
Mm-hmm.
if this had the absolute banner above Aquaman, it would be in the top 10, guaranteed.
I agree. And it's just different enough that you could have that absolute banner on it and it would work perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I think DC probably made the mistake of going, well, we don't really have an Aquaman book and we haven't for a while, so we should just have it as regular Aquaman. But yeah, great stuff. I love what he's doing here story wise. John Tim's art is a one outstanding, but also a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, just it's a good mix too. Like you do same thing. You get kind of these comic booky elements, which you can see on these first 2 pages, and then there are times where it's just toned back just a little bit and packs a nice punch.
Yeah,
But
it's a fun story. So it's
yeah,
Aquaman in this dark like multiversal realm that has these different cities, but in the water. It's so strange, unique, and cool. And at the same time, there's also a lot of Arthurian legend being told in
Mhm.
this story. There's even a fucking lady in the lake, lady of the lake, in this involved in this story.
Yep.
And so Arthur continues his trek through this dark multiverse, and who does he run into? You guessed it, Frank Stallone. Kidding. No, he runs into Captain fucking Nemo.
Yeah.
Captain Nemo's in this, and it is awesome. So yeah, it's them kicking ass on their way to meeting the big baddie. Yeah, the art is kick ass in this, and the story is awesome. Strong recommend for this. If you guys aren't reading Aquaman, this run has been a perfect jumping on point, and
Yeah.
it is an absolute crime that this is not higher on the sales charts.
Yeah, and the thing that one, I'll say, we found out that, we already knew that you can kind of just tell that it's not selling as well as we would like, but we also found out that just legitimately number wise, it's not really doing as well as DC wants it to do. So if you've been on the fence of checking this out, I would say check it out. But I'm also going to add in the fact that we've seen Jeremy Adams on other titles, which we may or may not talk about before the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And we see how good he is at world building, but also creating this like epic saga type story where everything just keeps expanding and growing, expanding and growing. And Aquaman's one of those titles that he can do that with if he gets the time to do it, but he needs the time to do it. So I'm really hoping more people pick this up. I'm hoping people give it a shot. Um, this was brought up Saturday on Wes's channel by multiple people as being one of their favorite books that's out right now. So I'm hoping word of mouth can get around at that people will really kind of start jiving with this book and checking it out because it deserves it. He deserves it. And I really want to see what he can do because I think if we give him the chance to take this for a good run, you're going to get one of those seminal arcs that gets collected and will live on shelves for a good while. Like
Yeah,
it'll be up there with Jeff Johns and everything else that's just like rocking.
Jeff
So
Johns, Peter David, the
yep,
stuff that Jim Aparo did. Yeah, it'll be up there.
absolutely. So excellent pick. I love this book, and yeah, more people need to be reading this. So if you're not reading this, go back on Holy Nightmare, get the Gollum add-on, and then go pick this up.
Yes.
And then Ezekiel put Jeremy Adams, baby. Yeah, agreed. And then Jamin D put, I love Adams' approach where he asks his artists what they want to draw and weaves story around it. Yes.
That's
True.
what. So fun story. When Jim Lee's first X-Men comic he got to draw with Chris Claremont, Claremont asked him what he wanted to draw. He said, "I want to draw Captain America, Black Widow, Wolverine." So he wrote a story around that.
Yep. Yeah, I will say, Jamin, I love this, and I don't think enough writers do this. And Drew, I kind of love when you and Relu get to talk about in Holy Nightmare because y'all talk about how y'all will do this and like what do you want to see and what do you like. And, but even me, with when I get artists to commission art for me, I usually have something that I want, right? Like I'm the customer, I'm the paying guy, and I have an idea. Like I want you to draw this character, but I have learned that the stuff that I've grown to absolutely love is when I will just give that basic parameters. I want this character, or I want these two characters, and you can do whatever you want to with it. You can choose which costume you want. If they have multiple costumes, you can do an amalgam, like whatever you want. Just run with it. And I think for them, it lets them have more fun, and it's going to show through in the art. And I think that's kind
Yes.
of what you see with Tim's here is he's having a hell of a lot of fun with this book. So, and yes, it's underwater, but you have space type, tinges to it.
Yeah,
That I'm really enjoying. So,
it's
a lot
crazy.
of
I
fun.
love it.
All right, let's get into our number 4 pick. So my number 4 debut for the month of May 2025 is Space Ghost Johnny Quest Space Quest number
Mm.
1. Is that a good or disagree?
No, it's good. It's a oh
Okay.
yes, yeah, this was good.
Okay. Now look, I will say there is one thing. Well, there's I liked this book, and by the end of the book, I was really ready for more. Like I wanted more. I will say the first issue drug a little bit for me. Like I felt like they
Yeah, it's a
really
setup issue.
stretched out. Yeah, they really stretched out getting Space Ghost introduced, and I'm like, just give me Space Ghost, damn it. But yeah, a lot of fun. Joe Casey writing. There are moments of this where it feels a little juvenile with the writing, but I also think that's part of the charm. So I can't knock it too much. I do wish the art were a little bit better. And it's the art's not bad, but there are moments where, especially when you see Space Ghost, when you get to the end and you get those characters in the issue, and you're comparing it to what you would see from Jonathan Lau, you definitely start noticing it. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's a good wholesome issue, and I hope this just continues to bring more eyes to these titles that are kind of, harkening back to these older brands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was fun. For me, the most clever, I guess, yeah, I'll say the most clever part was when Space Ghost and the others are speaking, and they're like, "What the hell are they saying? I have no clue what
right.
the hell because like, oh yeah, they're aliens. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not gonna be speaking English. I got I got a little kick out of that.
I did too. I when reading, I even went, "Oh shit, they are aliens!" Like I was like, "Why are they doing this?" Because they look humanoid. You got the,
Yeah.
the twins, the kids, and then, but everything. Even I love the whole like using the sonic ray to knock off their invisibility. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff in here. It took a little while to get going.
Yes.
But once it got going, I was upset that it ended. And for me, that's a sign that we've got a fun book on our hands. Because, like,
Mhm.
dang it, why? So I'll be looking forward to the next issue. Drewski, moving on to your number 4, we've got Feral number 13, written by Tony Fleeks, art by Trish Forstner and Tony Rodriguez, and colors by Brad Simpson. Let's talk about Feral, man.
Man, I love this series. This series is now the Walking Dead of animal horror, and Trish and Tony have me hook, line, and sinker with every issue now. I hate cats with a passion, but this team has managed to find a way to get me to care for all of them, and I even found my favorite, Lucky. Lucky's my guy,
Yeah.
and because he reminds me of well, me, and I like that. And in this issue, they're trying to get to a pet store, which they think it will provide safety. It'll have food, because they see like all the bad cats, the bad ones. They're all outside. They're not inside. So they feel like, oh, this we can go here for safety. It's gonna have everything we need, which is creating a Dawn of the Dead situation, which is I am totally in store for. Totally, I'm ready for it. And also, aren't there typically animals that live in pet stores? Uh,
I do
hmm.
believe so. It's pets that you can go purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, Trish and Tony, they're killing it with this series and
Yep.
are making it a must read every month. If you guys aren't reading Feral, do check this out. It is a blast.
Yeah, I talk about this book a lot, and a lot of times I'll reference that, I've got a comic book club that I do with my comic shop. So we meet up every other Wednesday. And a lot of times we'll talk about the current floppies that we're reading. And the one book that everyone in that group is reading is Feral. And I'm telling, like, our group is so diverse, both in personalities, but also what we're reading or what we prefer. But literally every single person in that book club group is reading Feral. And then half of them are trying to get their cats in the back. So, that's another thing. They're like, oh, I'm sending it like each week. But I love this book. I think it's a lot of fun. It covers a gamut of genres. And yeah, there are times where it's intense. And I love animals. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person.
Same.
So I'm excited to see our big old buddy here kind of making his debut in the book. But yeah, fun stuff. And he's a beast too, man. But the little kittens and it's fun. It's a fun book. You should check it out. If you're not reading this, you are missing out. Because the way they ended that second volume was creepy AF.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. As soon when they got to that house That was
Oh,
that was the first. It felt like where I was reading Stray Dogs. It's
yeah.
like it just building that suspense, that terror. Where you just know you're waiting for that horrific turn. What is the big reveal? What is the big surprise?
Yeah. And two arcs, and we're kind of jumping into a new arc here. Um, Kudos to Tony Fleeks and team because they're making it feel different, uh, while still keeping a very similar tone. Like they're putting your characters in different situations that you, when you're reading it, you feel the difference in where they are because of what's going on around them. So when you get moments of relief, it's nice. You enjoy it while reading it, and then usually by the end of the issue, you're like, "Oh shit!" So good times. But let's look at the comments real quick, see if we've got anything on Space Quest or this. We do have Ezekiel coming in with not a big Johnny Quest fan, just similar with them, but giving this book a chance. And he did say first issue was solid. Love the final page of the issue. Yeah, the last like 5 pages of that issue were a lot of fun. We also have Zax coming in with Joshy Poo. Zaxy Poo, good to see you, brother. Thank you for popping in. I've got to catch up on your stream. It's been freaking busy, man. And then I've got to catch Gooch's stream because I know Gooch did a stream for men's mental health. I did a stream last year and I had Roman and Max and my friend Sarah, who's a therapist, and we all talked about different things with men's mental health. But June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, so be aware. But our friend Gooch, Diabolical Souls, is his channel. He did a video talking about just his life and stuff that he's been through and what he's dealt with and experienced and had to overcome. And highly recommend checking that out if you get a chance. So we also have JD Petty coming in with I have memories of the 90s Johnny Quest show. They played it on Cartoon Network when I was in preschool.
Yeah, I remember too.
Yep. I remember the old Johnny Quest show too that
Oh,
I felt
bro, oh, I grew up on the old school Johnny Quest. That
same.
theme song is my ringtone. That is one of the greatest That's one of the greatest theme songs in history. I love
You
that theme song.
I I was with you in Dallas for a week and I heard that a few times and I was like, I recognize it, but I didn't think anything about it. And you saying it, I'm like, holy shit, that is what that is. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
grew up on
that's
Johnny
awesome.
Quest. I love Johnny Quest, and yeah, I love that original '60s series.
Um, Cajun Corey just kind of backing up what I was saying. He said, yeah, he did the Gooch did the men's mental health stream the other day, and he said he caught some of it. Should go back and watch all of it. Yeah, man, go check it out. Like Gooch is a really good guy, and was really transparent in that. And I think sometimes that's look. I think that's why, not to get off topic, but I think that's why men's mental health is important. I think society puts a stigma on guys saying that you shouldn't talk about how you feel, and then that's why you see guys with higher heart attack rates, stroke rates, suicide rates, like all these things. And I've had friends that have contemplated certain things, and I always tell people, if you need me, call me. Like I will I will make myself available if I have to. So sorry to switch to something serious there for a second, but I think it's important. We got to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, just to look at this too. Sorry I didn't show the art, but really fun art. We've talked about Trisha's art before, about how she kind of captures that Disney-esque look for this book. And it might look cutesy, but it is also terrifying AF at certain points. So, yeah, just love the work they do here. But alrighty, we're gonna move on to our number 3 pick. So I'm coming in with the number 3 debut for May 2025, and my pick is Invincible Universe Battle Beast #1. So this is the second book that I had to go back and rethink because I read it and I remember asking Drew, like, did you read this? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I didn't fully get the hype. And again, I think this is a situation where expectation kind of outweighed it a little bit. Again, I'm still on the fact that I haven't read the Invincible books, so I'm not as familiar with this character. So whatever you're bringing in from those, I don't have. But I also got chastised by Max and Kyle for not liking this, and they're like, and they just kept being like, "It's just good fun action. It's just good fun action." So I went back and I reread it from that perspective, and I enjoyed it much more. I think my thing was I was wanting it to be more grandeur or grandesque or whatever, and really this guy's just out there beating the shit and killing people. But second read, I had a lot of fun with it. Even the stuff that I didn't like with I can't think of that like alien creature's name. That it's the whole the like he's like the husk, his head, and he's entrapped in that casing. Um, the lead up to that, I really didn't like. I was like, bro, how many pages are we going to spend leading up to them fighting? Just let them fight. So the second time I read through, I wasn't as critical, but a lot of fun. If there's anything that I'm not sure I like about this, it's that this title's only 3 issues. So I don't know what their plan is, but they better deliver something good for 3 issues because you know. But Ryan Otley on art does some fun stuff here, and yeah, I mean there's some good bloody action here. It sold well for a reason. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and hey, we can attest to this. It was pretty much the book of the show at Dallas Fan Expo.
Very much so. Ryan, so if there were 2 creators that were getting a lot of attention, it was Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and then right after them was Ryan Otley. And almost every booth that was selling comics had Battle Beast and had blind bags. So they were getting a lot of favor. So yeah. Drewski, your number 3 pick for the month of May 2025 is Daredevil, A Cold Day in Hell, number 2. Hell yeah. Written by Charles Soule with art by Steve McNiven. I love this book.
Me too. I absolutely love this book. This miniseries just continues to be top notch, from the writing to the lettering to the lights out art from Steve McNiven, who admitted on Instagram he is emulating Frank Miller in a lot of the panels.
Yep,
that is fact. So if it looks like Frank Miller, yeah, it's because he is doing his best to make it look like Frank, and it is glorious. The characters in here are distinct in their own ways, and I love the relationships between everyone from Matt to Foggy or Matt and Elektra. It's all pitch perfect. I mean, the only downside is there's only one more issue.
I know.
One more fucking issue. It feels like it's just getting started.
Yeah.
But we got a ticking clock with Matt. Mm-hmm. We know he's got his powers back, but they're not lasting that long. And they're going to be fading, and before we know it, they're going to be gone. And he's got to get to it. And it's going to be a shame to see this come to an end. But yeah, Agreed. Other than that, this has been fantastic.
Yeah, as sad as I am to see this coming to an end, I'm also I'm happy that it's not going to have the issue of overstaying its welcome. And I just hope they deliver a banger of a final issue because my God, like in what you said, the first issue, just the characterization they did with Matt and Daredevil, even Cap and his appearance in that, and then you come into this one, that rooftop scene with Foggy was written so well. And I've never been like the biggest Charles Soule fan. I also haven't read a ton of his stuff, but mostly what I've read has been from Marvel. And man, that scene, like I will give him props as a writer for that scene alone, because there's a lot of tropes and I would say easy things people could have done, and he took what a lot of people wouldn't have done and went a different route, and it worked so much better. It felt so much more realistic. So yeah, kudos there. And then Elektra, Elektra is the best Elektra has been.
Yes,
in decades. And
100% true. 100%. Yeah, we're talking. You said decades. Yeah, we're talking. Jesus, I mean, going back. I mean, it probably even like before the 90s. I'm not gonna lie. Well before that. She is the one panel I fucking love. She just tells Matt, "Don't." I didn't
give you permission to touch me.
Me. I love it. Yeah.
That was the line that I read, and I was like, holy shit, they got her right.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing I can think of. I was like, it's her again. It's finally her again. Not, Daredevil 2.0 light.
Yeah.
Loving this book. And we've got to talk about McNiven's art, because like he mentions that yes, he's emulating Frank Miller, but my God, he's also emulating freaking Carrie Andrews to give that similar type of vibe that Spider-Man Reign had, because it's clearly this is meant to be like in the same vein, right?
Yeah, in the same
Um,
vein. And but this is I don't know what the sales numbers are for this, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like an Old Man Logan situation where I kind of want to know more about this world now. I want
yep.
to know who's all left alive at this point, if anyone, and what all happened. I want to know more about this war. I mean,
Mhm.
they've done a great job. I mean, I hate saying the term a mystery box, but it kind of is. You're set up this vague event that happened where there's a vague number of deaths and vague certain people died. And it's like, I want to know more.
Yeah. And then just the visual storytelling, and this is going to be, a praise to both um, Soul and McNiven, but they work so well. Soul will trust McNiven to deliver on the art, and I mean, like even these 3 pages here, you can see like it's quality visual storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, I can't praise this book enough. I was watching a stream. I think it was one of Perch's videos, and Perch was like, "Has Marvel or DC put anything else out recently that's going to be remembered in 40 years?" And I would say that if they land this final third issue, this could be one of those books.
It absolutely
Um,
could. It absolutely could. Um,
so
and honestly, um, what's funny is that Chip Zdarsky did that Avengers Twilight series,
yeah,
and I mean, in retrospect, that was a solid series. It was
yeah,
absolutely solid, but there was something missing that
yep,
it just didn't. It's not going to be remembered that well. And I hate to say it, I think it's going to be the Daniel Kuna art. I think that was
mm,
probably that's keeping it from being really, really remembered. And with Steve here, it's perfect. And
yeah.
honestly, if Chip had like someone like a Carrie Andrews or someone like a big bombastic artist to do that art for that story, I think it would be more remembered. I think it'd be much more well regarded.
Yeah. The thing that McNiven's doing here, especially with his panels and page layouts, is there are moments where it feels like a, high end indie film that's like, going for like the Oscar type thing. Like we're doing something artsy and we're gonna move you. And then you also get things that just feel cinematic and blockbuster. And he is merging those two beautifully while, pulling elements of different artists to bring in here. And we talked about the Frank Miller-ness of it all, but Electra, when she pops in and you see her hair, like the hair is the dead giveaway. But
Yep.
yeah, so much of this is so freaking good, and they're making it look easy, and what they're doing is not easy, but they're making it look and feel easy. So
Yeah, it's
kudos to
just
these
they're
two.
showing everyone it's like, hey, we did this in one issue. Look what we did. We got more right in we got more right in one issue than you guys got right in the last 30 fucking years.
Yep, it is wild, but loving this book. I'm sad that the next issue is the last. If you're not reading this, you need to be reading this. That's all I can say. So, alrighty, let's move on to our number twos. And by number twos, we don't mean shit. We mean second best.
Mhm.
So my number two pick for the month or for the debut of May 2025 is oh gosh, it cut it off. Whoops. Hold please. I think I want to say this is The Curse. Is that right?
Sure.
Oh. Yes, The Curse of Shirley Johnson, number one. So this is in the Spawn verse, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really read a lot of Spawn books. Just throwing that
I
out there.
so I was on the Spawn train initially, reading a lot of them, but then just a lot of them just wound up either sucking or just really pacing for the trade. Just like nothing would really happen,
Oh,
and just
gotcha.
drive
Yep.
me nuts.
And that might be the case here. I don't really know where all they're gonna take this after this issue. I mean, that I'll be curious to see. But we written by Daniel Henriquez, art by Jonathan Glapian, and colors by FCO Placentia. I just think visually it's worth the price of admission alone. And there's some really creepy stuff in here because Shirley Johnson's this little girl kid character. And it's her trying to figure out what she is now that she is, this kind of undead dead thing. but it was a fun book. It's a quick read. They don't put a ton of dialogue boxes, but you can see here they do fun stuff from an artistic perspective. So huge kudos to Glapion. There's some really creepy stuff in here too. And I think the fact that Shirley is a little girl makes it even creepier. But I came into this expecting nothing at all. And I finished it and I was like, damn, that was that's gonna be on my list. And I thought I was gonna read a few pages and toss it to the side. So if they can keep up the pacing and quality, great. But I thought this was a fun book. So um Drewski, I'm going to move on to your number 2 pick for the overall best books of May 2025, and you are coming in with G.I. Joe number 7, written by Joshua Williamson, art by Andrea Milana, and colors by Lee Loffridge. Let's talk about Beachhead.
So yeah, I've always been more of a Transformer guy than a GI Joe guy, but I still like the GI Joes, and
Yep.
I really didn't know much about Beachhead.
Same.
But after this issue, is he now instantly one of my top 3 favorite Joes? Absolutely.
Yep.
Beachhead is fucking awesome in this issue, and how Williamson is writing him in this series in this issue is that he's the old gun, he's the old soldier, and he doesn't want to be put out the pasture because he knows the minute I start training people, the minute I'm taken out of the field, I'm training my replacement, I'm done. He's proven that he still has it. He's proven that he's still got it, and yeah, I love this mission, and it's great on it. And I think I brought this up when we did our live stream that I think this could have worked as a silent issue. This really could have worked. But regardless, it is still a fantastic issue. Beachhead has a great personality in this. I dig it. I love him as a Joe, and it's a great mission. It's got some laughs. It's got a lot of action, and a hell of a cliffhanger. And Josh Williamson, he's killing it here in GI Joe.
Yep.
And I'm excited for each chapter now, and hope we get to see more Beachhead.
Yeah, I thought this issue was a lot of fun. It is like we completely, for the most part, pause our main story. This is a pretty much just single. It's almost like this was like an annual. Like you've got that just side story before we introduce this character. But yeah, it's a fun book, and this is Beachhead. He thinks this is his final mission, and then he thinks he's gonna die on this final mission, and then he realizes that he's being recruited for a larger mission. But I had a lot of fun with this. It's kick ass at times. It's funny in the right way when it needs to be. Like I love the gag of he's coming in to get a box, and he's thinking like something he can carry out.
Yeah.
And then when he finally breaks into this mansion and he sees it's like an 8-foot box, like, he's like, how the hell am I supposed to get this out of here?
Yeah.
So a lot of fun. I really had fun with this issue, and I can't wait to see them incorporating these story elements that they do introduce here into the main line, because there is, especially at the end, you kind of see how this is going to impact the overall arc. And
this is probably my second favorite issue of the new GI Joe series. First one was the Cobra Commander versus Duke issue. This is my second favorite.
Yeah. So Joshua Williamson just continuing to fire on all cylinders between Duke and Cobra Commander, and now what he's doing on GI Joe. Like, he's killing it over here. And I would love to see him just keep running with this.
Yeah,
so
he's like Kenny Bania, following up Jerry Seinfeld. He's killing.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. We're gonna get into our number 1 picks for May 2025. And coming in, my number 1 debut for the May 2025. It shouldn't be a surprise because it is Huck Big Bad One. Hey. Yeah, I'm just gonna mirror and echo everything you said earlier. There's something about just having a good guy that you wanna watch him, you wanna root for him, and that's how I feel about Huck. And man, I feel bad that this skank hoe of a woman won't feel the same way. Yeah, like what a hoe. And bitches be bitches. But yeah, like there is real life heartache there that I'm sure plenty of people will read this book and relate to, of like, what the heck, man? Why can't you see me for what I offer? But just Huck is a hero. And this goes back to what Drew was talking about earlier, being just a good old boy. it's the same thing that makes Captain America so likable in a lot of ways. When you see someone that is inherently good and they're not being good for ulterior motives, like they are being good because they know it's right and it's the sake of being good, you want to see them succeed. You want to go on this journey with them. You want to root for them. You get scared and nervous if you think something's going to happen. And that's kind of the feeling I have with Huck is like you just want to see him, like you just want to go on this journey with him. So I'm loving this. Excited to see what Mark does for this story and where he takes it. And yeah, just good. If and a couple of people mentioned earlier that they became a fan of Huck in Big Game. So if you're one of those people, go check this book out. I didn't even know this came out the week that it came out because it sold out at my comic shop before I got there. So then when we went to do our floppy drop show, I was like, holy shit, I didn't even know this came out. So excited to play or keep going with this and make sure I get it pulled moving forward. But great book. And then we get to see some of these are from the first couple of pages, but Raphael Albuquerque, and you can see that the art here is just much better than that Superman Unlimited series. So.
Yeah, so I don't I guess this is the main plot, arguably, of the story. It's
yeah.
It's the that these people they realize they've discovered, oh, there are other superhumans much like Huck out there, and Huck is given I guess made an offer. Someone's looking for him at the end of the first issue. But granted, it's interesting, but it's not, to me, it's not as interesting and as powerful as what happens to Huck emotionally with that woman.
Yep.
Agreed. It's heartbreaking.
Well, and it's just something when you can find ways for something to hit on a real life level, you know, they're going to resonate with you and kind of stick with you. And I think that's what that does. I think everyone, one way or another, has felt that type of heartache. So when you see it, yeah, you relate to it, you know, and it's a smart. Mark Miller's a smart guy. He's a great writer for a reason. So
yeah,
we do have George Demetropoulos in the house. George came in late. We'll watch the replay. Well, thank you, sir. I'm happy you're here. Glad you came in and commented. As always, it's nice to see you. You missed MVP. He was in the chat earlier. So you know, give him a hello, harass him, whatever you want to do. Go call him a tard. But yeah, good to see you here, brother. Thank you for coming in, and let us know what you think when you watch the replay. Drewski, your number one pick for the month of May 2025. I wonder if it's a writer that we've already talked about tonight.
Or is it Vita Ayala? Is it Leah Williams?
You know, well, I guess technically Vita's book was June, so I don't think it could be Vita, but it might be Jeremy Adams on Green Lantern number 23. So Jeremy Adams is the writer, art by Zermanico, and colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr. Bro, this book, this issue. I mean, look, I'm biased, which if you know me and you look at the cover, you already know. I saw this in the shop, was like, fuck yeah. But
how could you not be?
Bro,
I mean, if you're of a certain age,
yes.
I'll say, if you're of a certain age, and if you grew up reading when Hal Jordan was the Spectre, or leading up to that, and the fallout from after that when they parted ways, yeah, this is the reckoning. This is their first reckoning with each other, and it's great. It's so
good.
Yeah, it is so well written, and yeah, Zermanico does a fan-fucking-tastic job on the art in this. It is absolutely beautiful. Granted, we have a fantastic space chase with Kyle and Silver Scare. Okay, so one of the great points I was going to talk about in this is that Jeremy Adams, he doesn't have to generate lazy, ham-fisted BS diversity characters for the sake of diversity to save the day. No, he digs into the treasure chest of characters unused by DC and brings new life into them. That's what he's done here in this Green Lantern run. Everyone from Director Bones to Phantom Stranger to Nort. You know, we can see Nort again. Holy crap. And everyone is written in character. Their voices are who they are. And I completely dig it. And yeah, how Germanico illustrates the reckoning between Hal Jordan and the Spectre. It's
Yeah,
fucking great. I loved it, and it 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 scratches that nostalgia bone so well that it's just like I want more. I got to have more, and because he knows what we want. And as a Green Lantern fan, as a DC fan of a lot of these B, C, D, Z list characters, I love it. Digging into the treasure chest. He knows what we want to see, and I got to give him all the credit in the world for that. And to make a banger book with these characters, yeah, it's he's doing the Lord's work right now. And this is
indeed.
Jeff Johns' level of writing, and
Agreed.
strongest recommends this month.
Yeah, Salty's asking, wait, what book? So Green Lantern, Jeremy Adams, Green Lantern. I look, same thing, Drewski. I sometimes I feel like a broken record talking about this, and it's kind of where I'm starting to lean with his Aquaman as well. As he's looking at all these toys that he has on this playground to play with, and he's like going like, all right, what can I do with these people, and how does it make sense, and where can I make it tie together so it doesn't feel like I'm just throwing this random character in here for no reason. And he's weaving this story that is now beginning to feel like this sweeping epic. Like, what do they call it? What did DC call this new initiative when they started DC? All
All
in.
in.
Yeah. It was like he came in, he took advantage of this whole all in rebranding and was like, I'm blowing this shit out of the water. And really just started just kind of, you know, like sweeping epic is the only thing I can think to call it, because it is an ever growing story with more and more characters getting involved, more and more things building upon each other. Yeah, and great stuff. So you have them here. They eventually go down, and Spectre gets involved, and Spectre wants Hal to return because Hal has been the Spectre before. He served as the Spectre, and the Spectre needs a host, and he wants Hal, and Hal may not be open to it,
Yeah.
and it's just a terrific issue, and it's the fact that we've gotten to this point with this book that I also look back at like Aquaman. I'm like, it's similar situation. It's a vast world with endless characters and endless possibilities that he can do whatever the hell he wants to. But the thing you always know with Jeremy is he's gonna respect the characters, he's gonna respect the history of this book, and he's gonna respect the lore that has been laid before him. And we talked a lot about Jeff Johns, and I think part of it is because Jeff Johns has written seminal runs of both Green Lantern and Aquaman. But I think Jeff and Jeremy are very similar in the fact that they look at these characters and go, what can I do that makes sense? That's going to tell a great, impactful story, but build upon itself and open itself up to more stories. And
I'm just laughing at the fact Nort was in hell. He's just there hanging out.
And he looks so sad too.
Yeah.
sad Nort.
Like I said, I give every character a voice, and I give Nort the voice of Seth Rogen when he talks, and it just feels like it fits. And I laugh whenever I see it. It's just great. It just this issue delivers on everything that I wanted to. And this, if guys, I don't know what more we got to say. If you're not reading Green Lantern or Aquaman, fix yourself.
Yeah.
He's up.
And don't do what you did earlier when I said fix yourself and take one away. Like, fix yourself. Yeah, look, Ezekiel's coming in. The writing has been great. And he also put, I'm buying double issues because the covers have been awesome too. Completely agree there. Let's see. And he also said, give Adam some more toys, damn it. I completely agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say, I was talking about how he's writing these characters and stories that keep building. And I do think the key point of what I was saying there is the fact that he's writing stories that are opening themselves up to more stories. And I think in the world of comics, when you have this universe that just keeps going and going and going and going, I don't think people understand how crucial and critical that is. Because you have plenty of writers that come in and they write a story and tell their story, but they write themselves to an ending. And then the next writer is left to figure out, like, what the hell am I going to do with this? Because I've got to find something to do to continue the story now. And I think Jeremy Adams, instead of putting writers in that perspective, whenever he leaves these books, whenever he finishes, I think he's going to have put them in a place where you can do more than one book. You could have multiple books and multiple writers continuing these stories that he's laid out. So, yeah, can't praise the guy enough. I love his work, and he deserves more. JD Petty came in with, excuse me, have to head to bed. Have a good night. Jeremy Adams at number one is no surprise. He's earned it. Indeed, he has. And then we have Salty Traveling Seed coming in with a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. I love having you in the comments here and just kind of talking about these books. And I always value your opinion because I think you are probably one of the most intelligent guys I know. So thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And for you, we will do. Let's do this because we're a bunch of dudes talking about comic books.
Who wants to hang out in a blanket fort with grown men in tiny underoos? Hello!
Awesome. All right. Well, that pretty much gets us to a wrapping up point for the night. However, before we leave, I do want to remind you that, or remind everyone, I should say, that Drewski over here is a writing fiend, and Unholy Nightmare is out. We have the link pinned in the comments in the chat. So close to goal. So close to goal.
Yeah,
so
it's that when you're that close, it just drives you nuts, and you're just like, come on, can someone just tell their friend, tell their store owner, just it just you got like I said, my reach only goes so far, and by you guys watching, telling your friends, and them telling their friends to check this out, word of mouth really makes campaigns like this get over the finish line. And I'm asking all you guys to just do what you can to really spread the word about it, so help us get over the finish line. We're so close.
Yep. And I mean, look, I'm a goober that anytime I see an animal, I'm like, but is it Remy or Rennie?
Rennie. So
Rennie. Okay.
as we call him
parent.
Rennie after Renfield. We decided to call him Rennie.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But a little fun fact, we told you, Dracula parrots, they are real. Google them.
Yeah.
They do exist. They look exactly like that. We're like, we got to give Dracula a Dracula parrot as a pet. Come on.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Loved it. And then when I found out it was real and Googled it, my comment to you was, I want one. I want one. But yeah, great covers here for you guys to choose from. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want. We got this Andrew Mangum cover. This is Aurelio's cover, which you see the lineup of the new characters that get introduced in this book, or this issue, I should say. We have JC Grande's Stephen Platt homage here, which, you know, that poor colorist.
Dan Kemp. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
And then I love this EC throwback. There's just something so special about this. But yeah, just great freaking covers here. And then we also have Isaac Bell, and he was on the stream for the kickoff as well, along with JC. Just really good. Oh no, Isaac was on there, and then we had
and JC Grande.
Yeah, and TriStar. That's right. All three of them kind of popped on. So, and then this cover in particular, I mean, I've been looking at this for a while now. So happy to see it coming out, and there's a slightly naughty version. But great stuff here, guys. Go back it, and then if you back it, remember, I'm telling you now, you're stupid if you back this book and you don't get the backup story that is the origin of Gollum, written by Drew, drawn by the incredible Vu Don. It's all black and white, all these incredible inks. Okay, I gotta say, so Thursday I'm gonna make sure I have that video ready of him doing this cover. When you sent that to me and I watched it, I pulled it up and I went, holy shit, this crazy bastard is just going straight in with inks. That is wild. I was like, what in the world is going on here? So I think the only person that I've watched do something like that was Lee Bermejo. Like I watched Lee Bermejo go in and just straight in inks and just like start just going to town with his style. But it's fascinating. I'm not an artist. I couldn't draw to save my life. You can take this joke or pun or whatever, but I couldn't even draw a straight line if my life depended on it. And no, not just because I'm, ding.
No, Vu. So people, if you don't know who Vu is, it's understandable. He was in video games. He was working in the world of video games for a long time. He left video games to work in comic books because he likes comic books. So he's just been doing a lot of commissions. I was his first commission. Unholy Nightmare 2 preview edition, that cover. He did a piece of fan art. I paid him to do a cover, to do it, and he did it better, which shockingly. And since then, he's going to be having several big gigs coming out this year and next year. They're really going to surprise people. I guarantee it. He had that Symbiote Willie cover at New York Comic Con that sold out in, I think it was like an hour, not even an hour. It was gone. And but yeah, stay tuned. Pay attention to this guy, and you guys do not want to regret the fact that you did not pick this up, because probably like with the first appearance of Doomface, you're gonna be like, "Hey, do you got any of those left?" No, sorry, we printed only the money, the amount that we needed. You should have gotten it when you had the chance.
Oh yeah, no, hey, indeed. I've got his. I'm gonna share this, but this is that cover you're talking about. That was the fan art that then became a cover. So
correct, yeah,
just fantastic freaking work. So
which you can get on the campaign. You can get that as an add-on.
You absolutely can. And then I think he did a Depths of Valor cover for you too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he has. Yep. That was on the back of the preview edition. But when that Kickstarter gets launched, whenever that is, that cover will be on there, and I cannot wait for people to see that one.
Yeah, it's freaking fantastic. So, but that is our show for tonight. So please go back Unholy Nightmare. You won't regret it. I've read the issues. It's a shit ton of fun. I've read the backup. I truly think it's something special. And look, I said this the night that you guys did the launch stream, but it's hard. It is hard to write a fulfilling story within 8 pages, 10 pages. It's not easy.
No.
And that is it's a quality story. You managed to tell something that's both gripping and you can't read that and not become a fan of the Golem. And then the fact that Vu's art is right there with it, with this throwback EC vibes, and just even Vu's style of art, I think at this point is considered old school or throwback, but my God, it's so good. So yeah, loving it. But link is in the chat. Go back Unholy Nightmare, share on social media, tell your friends that read comics to check it out. If you didn't get the first issue of Unholy Nightmare, you can also get that through the Kickstarter. So, don't worry about missing out or not being able to catch up. It's all there for you. And Jim Mint or their exclusive covers that they do for other books. You have a chance to get those things too.
Oh, the Comic Mint, yeah.
Comic Mint, sorry.
So there's a Comic Mint mystery bag. So I can get 3 random covers, 3 random exclusives, as well as including a metal cover of Unholy Nightmare.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, we are going to wrap that up. Drewski, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Dolan Waddick. You can find me on Instagram, Dolan_Waddick. And next week, you can find me in Las Vegas at Amazing Comic-Con in the Plaza Hotel. I'll be there with Marat Michaels. And I may have something special Unholy Nightmare related at the show.
So you're going to Vegas for Comic-Con. You're not having a career change.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't know if Nadia had influenced you in any ways to show some skin, and by skin I mean feet. But it's Vegas. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll be there for several days. So yeah, who knows what'll happen.
Well, I hope you have a blast. I know Max and Aaron, I think, are going to try to come down and see you. I wish I could escape my day job to do it. Unfortunately, life is life. But yeah, if you're in Vegas, make sure you go see these guys and see what they're doing. And if you want to follow the channel, you can follow myself directly at Joshua L. McDonald on X or at By Popped for the channel on X. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday, or most Tuesday and Thursdays, unless something happens. So Tuesdays, we have rotating shows. Every Thursday, we have Floppy Drop, where we discuss that week's new comics. And those are usually fun because we tend to look up League of Comic Geeks for reviews, and then we'll actually pull up the comic itself and just see what people are saying. So it's always an interesting time to see why people are praising some of the worst books out there. But thank you guys for coming. You guys in the chat, you make this worthwhile, and I really appreciate y'all. I always have a lot of fun. Have fun coming on here with Drew. I'd be talking about this shit with somebody anyways, so why not people that I actually enjoy? But I hope y'all have a good night, and then we will see you Thursday night for a floppy good time.
Get the fuck